Hi everybody. What is better to start the morning with a nice cup of tea? And we'll do a little video on a few bulbs. As I say, this is Sunday morning. I would like to give you the time. 8:40 in the morning, which is a fairly dull start. Anyhow, we've got through the shortest day. We now look that our days, each day will become a little bit longer. So we're heading into summer. It really suits me. I don't like the winter at all. Anyhow, let's have a look at a few more bulbs. I've sorted these out in the cupboard down there. So many, I guess it's taking a time, but I'm slowly putting them up. Now let's start with this one at the front by a company called Lays. It's not a name you often see. As far as I know, it could be Spanish. I'll show you the ends of it. It's got on there. Whatever it says on it, it's Sofito 38 by 309 millimeters. That's the length of the tube. Opal, that's like a white. 220, 230, 60 watt. The fact it says 220 tells me immediately it's Continental, and yes, it is. There's the lamp. We don't use this style lamp over here. We do use strip lights, but ours are a little bit different. We did produce one during the war years, which I may have shown you somewhere. If I haven't, don't worry, I'll sort it out and put it up. We can have a look at it. The caps at the end are solid conductors. There's no centre pins, no centre contacts like the British strip lights are. And I think the length varies as well. There's the lamp. There's nothing, no etch or anything on it at all. It's got your opal lamp. In fact, one of these ends came adrift. I think it was that end there. And a little quick tip, although I use it, and some people find it's not a good idea. Reconnected it, you can see the wires sticking through still. There it is now, there's the other end. There we are. You see the wires sticking through. I shall probably put a wee bit of solder blob on there. And I've glued it up with, it's a quick setting super glue, which I say it might be the wrong thing to use, but that's what I use. I find it works. Let's go on and have a look, see what else we've got. I always like to start the day with a YouTube thingy bobs. Alright, I'm probably so used to it now that you're getting what's the word? You just can't start the day without putting a YouTube up. Probably all laughing. You probably know the same feeling. Anyhow, we talked about compact lamps. I know I call these contact, but they're called other names in other countries. This is not the box for this one, but it shows you the other names that other countries use. It's got the whole lot down there. We just call them low energy lamps or compact fluorescents. You've got some energy spirit lamps. That's what a lot of my German friends use. It's quite interesting. Anyhow, let's have a look at the bulb. This is made by a company, or not made by the company, it's obviously imported by the company. It's called Omicron low end. It's a 40 watt lamp, 240 volts at 50 hertz. There's all the blurb about it. Obviously supposed to last a long time. And when it shows that 200 watts, it's not equivalent to 200 watts. I think it means it, I don't know. It's a bit ambiguous. There's obviously quite a lot of saving. As you see on the old energy thing, it's on B, which is not fantastically good. LEDs have sort of pushed that arrow right down to quite low down. They really are energy savings. They're not as exciting as the older bulbs, but nevertheless, they're here to stay. And my advice would be, if anyone's got any of these, I call them compacts, if anyone's got compacts, keep them in your collection. They will become rare. Let's have a look at the actual lamp. There's the lamp. There's my hand, so that'll give you an idea of the size. It's not a small job, it's quite big. I've never tried it on. I will. It's Omicron, there's the thing. With the number, and it's probably made, it doesn't actually say on there, but I would imagine it's Chinese. It's got the old bayonet cap. Several of these, I don't know where they came from. It might have been, there was a shop that had closed down in my area that used to sell all kinds of bulbs, and unbeknown to me, the shop closed down, and the bulbs that were left over were up for sale at a local boot sale. So it might have been there I got it from, so I'm not too sure. Anyway, without talking too much on just one bulb, we'll have a look at another one here. No, I mentioned, I might have even shown this in the past. There's the etch, General Electric, burn base down. There's your 3 wattages, 100, 200, 300 at 120 volts. This is one of your 3 light arrangements. I can't see in there to tell you what the filaments look like. I don't know. I know they do make other ones. I haven't got the other. The only type I've got of these are the white glass ones, the Opel. It's got the mobile base, and as you know, these three-way lights have an extra contact on the base, so you can light individually each filament, 2 filaments together, or 3, and that is obviously what gives you your light levels. I'll show you the holder that these use. There's the holder. I'm actually showing the holder. I'm going to take this out because it's got in it an adapter. Take the adapter out. There we are. There's the holder. It's by a very well known American name, Leviton. There's the holder. You look at it inside. I'm trying to get as much light on it as I can. You can see inside there the actual contacts. You've got the normal middle contact, and out that you've got a ring which is like the secondary contact. You've obviously got the screw part. This is quite old, I would say 50s, might even be earlier. It came off of an antique lamp, standard type lamp. So it is old. I'm probably older than the date I've just said. Well, that's the lamp that, and also, if you didn't want to put this type of lamp in, but just put a normal lamp in, you can have an adapter, and this adapter is not 3-way. So if you use the adapter, you'll just get the 1 light level. I know they do make 3 light levels with this size base, but this base is not. It's only going to operate as a normal lamp, and that obviously screws into the holder there. So that's the holder that would be used. Funny enough, the switch, when you take this apart, the switch is made up of virtually a sealed unit that switches them. It's quite interesting. You'd have thought it would have been exposed inside, but it's not. It's a little encapsulated plastic feature. I would imagine at one time you could have just bought that on its own to repair the holders. Let's face it, that is the thing that is used. It's twisted round to give you your light level, so that is the part that is going to wear out. Anyhow, without me going on too much, I might have keep this short. We've got a half silvered lamp. The name, well, there's no name on it. Round the base, all it's got on it, I can show you, 225 volt, which also indicates the continent, at 100 watts. So it's a 100 watt bulb, 225 volt, and it's half silvered, as you can see. These were, I think, made for certain light fittings where you didn't want the light to actually blind anyone or become too bright. It was reflected up into the fitting or onto the ceiling, so you had what they call indirect lighting. There's the filament, if you can just see it. It's covered in a load of reflections. I hope I don't show my ugly mug in the reflection. The bulb hasn't broken, so presumably I haven't shown my ugly mug. There's the filament. It looks well made. As you can see on the base, you've got a one side of the wire has a fuse in it. And there's the lamp. Screw base. I would say it's fairly old. I don't know the exact age. There's no codes or anything. Show you the box. This is the box it came in. There's where it was obviously bought. I don't know what that is. It's got names on there. ALD, which shows there's 220 to 230 volts at 100 watts. That could be a code there, I don't know. Anyhow, it's just a plain box. It's just a plain box with nothing, no writing on it, nothing inside. So, you know. Anyway, the last little bulb we're going to look at this time is another compact. And this is I showed that box earlier, which I can show you again. And that's the one that's got all the description. As I say, I just know them as compact fluorescents. Made in China, well, where else? Different languages. 80% plus energy saving bulb. I don't know where I got this from. It could have been from that same person that I got the Omicron from. On there it gives you two choices, and where they've marked it with a little black blob is the lamp that you actually get in there. So it's a warm white, 20 watt, you've got your lumens and you've got the base. Well, the base in this case is ES E27, which right enough is that. So by just looking at the end you get an idea. The colour, the wattage seems to be the same on both, but it was made in warm white or daylight. This case it's warm white. And let's have a little look at the actual bulb. It's now they're quite common. Well, I say quite common. They're going to become rare. So my advice would be, if your collection has any of these, look after them because once they'd gone, as the shops say, I remember an advert in Lidl's, they say, once it's gone, it's gone. This didn't come from Lidl's, by the way. There's the wrong name for Lidl's. But there's the lamp, made in China, of course. It gives you details, 20 watt. It gives the colour rendering, 2700K, that's degrees Kelvin. It was named after an English inventor and scientist. You've got your hertz, 50 to 60. And it even gives the current, 135 milliamp. That'll give you an idea of the size of my hand, which is fairly large, my hand. A nice spot. It looks well made, actually. It's never been used, it's just one in the collection. I've opened another cupboard which had a few bulbs in. Anyhow, that is all for this time, but don't worry, I'll try and get some more out for you to have a look. Let me thank all of you who have put bulbs up for show. They're always interesting to look at, talk about. Once again, I'm hoping a lot of you can understand me. I don't, as I said the other day, I don't speak German, which I find is a terrible disadvantage. So it's a case of perhaps, well, you will pick up some of the words, I feel sure. Just by looking at the lamps, you know what they are. And I would say there's a lot of knowledge out there, and I really mean it. As I say, I've repeated this again. When I was a lot of your ages, bulb collecting was just didn't happen. Didn't happen. I was looked as being peculiar. I'm probably still looked at being peculiar, but I don't care. We've got an interest which serves what we want, and we like it and enjoy it and talk about it, share pictures on YouTube. I would say those that haven't had a look at it, you haven't got to join it, but I wish you would. Lighting gallery, that is interesting. You get you get a lot of, in my opinion, don't interest me, but having said that, they interest other people. The day I start collecting street light fitments, I just don't. It's not my interest, but it covers a wide range, and lamps are on there, street light fittings, fluorescent fittings, gear that goes with it, chokes or ballasts. Shows those, so it is quite good. So I would really recommend, if you're interested, have a little look. Lighting Gallery Net. They're on Google. Have a little look. You'll probably recognise a few names on there as well that you know. Well, you will. I can think of quite a few straight off, and I don't mean my name. My name's on there, but there's other members who you will know. So have a look. Anyhow, all for this time. I'll try and get something else up a bit later. So I'll bid you all goodbye for this time, and hope you have a good day. Here it looks like it's going to rain, but it's not bitterly cold out. As you know, I do like talking, so I'm going to shut up now and let you get on with your breakfast. I'm going to finish my cup of tea. I'm going to have a yoghurt. I'm going to listen to the local news, which is always depressing. And if they talk about Brexit, I shall scream, because that's going to be the worst thing we've ever done. We're part of Europe, and we should remain within Europe. As I said before, I'm more European than English. So anyhow, end of the politics. I'll catch all you good people later. Thanks for listening. Any comments, you know what to do. Pass comments. Good or bad, they're all comments. So I'm going to stop talking and thanks again. Thank you.